Hi Yellow 6 students, it's Mrs. Shomura-Takata, and today I am going to be going over your assignment on capitalization and commas in your grammar review notebook. So I'm going to be pulling up two slideshows. You're going to have two. One of the slideshows you have as a hard copy, and this should be inside your composition book already. You should have cut these pages out, okay? And I'm going to be talking about that. So this is the first one. It's the grammar review notebook. This is a resource for you when you aren't sure about, what things should be capitalized. Where should I put a comma? How do we use an apostrophe? Those kinds of questions. Your answers will be in the composition book that you've written on in here. Okay? So this is the first page. We have a table of contents, and we'll be going over what you need to type in there. The third slide is the middle school grammar cheat sheet. The fourth slide is a general writing rubric, and we will be going over that. Yesterday you did this with Mrs. Kim, parts of speech rap. She went over it. You were able to listen to it. And then you did the definitions and examples of these parts of speech: nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, conjunctions, interjections. So today we are going to be going over capitalization and commas. So in your composition book, you have this. And this is basically, it really is just a resource. It tells you the rule, and then it gives you examples. Okay? So for capitalization, there are 6 rules that we generally follow in English. Do capitalize the first letter of a proper noun, a name for a person, place, thing, or event. And so, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So for example, you would capitalize George Washington, that's someone's name. You would capitalize Canada, that is the name of a country. You would capitalize Dr. Pepper, that is a thing, a drink. You would capitalize the Rocky Mountains, but just Rocky Mountains, because that's the name of a place, as well as the Lincoln Tunnel. It's the name of a place, and you capitalize the important words, not the word the. And World War II, which is an event. Okay. The second rule is you do capitalize all significant words in titles of books, magazines, stories, movies, and other media. And you always capitalize the first and last words. Then it goes on to say, do not capitalize articles. And articles are words such as a, and, the. You do not capitalize prepositions like as, at, of, on, for, in. And you don't capitalize conjunctions, which are and, but, or, that contain 4 letters or fewer. So you see and, but, or. Those are 4 letters or less. Okay? So here are some examples. A Tale of Two Cities, it's the name of a book title. The Scarlet Letter, book title. And you're capitalizing the T because that is part of the title. Okay? And it's actually part of the title. The New York Times, A Bug's Life, The Star-Spangled Banner, The Complete Idiot's Guide to Sewing, and Of Mice and Men. The third rule is do capitalize the first letter of a sentence, even in a quotation. So the example here is a quotation. My mother said, quote, that first word is your, and they capitalize the Y. Your father will be home shortly. Okay, so you're capitalizing it, the first letter of this sentence that's in a quote. You do capitalize names of relatives that indicate family relationship when used with the person's name, or alone as the name you call that person. So, Aunt Karen, that you're capitalizing the A in aunt because it's attached to her name. Okay, so capitalize the K in Karen because it's her name. The second example is please ask grandmother. That's what you call, this person calls their grandmother. So they capitalize the G. And then you capitalize dad in this sentence because it's the first word, but because it's what you call him. And you capitalize mom. Okay? The fifth rule is do capitalize a title that precedes or comes before a name, but do not capitalize a title that follows a name or is used as a general word. So, and do capitalize titles when addressing someone directly. So here are some examples. I wrote a letter to Governor Jindal. Okay, so this is capitalized. It is the title, and Jindal is the person's name. So that's why it's capitalized. So capital Governor, capital Jindal. I also wrote to Bobby Brown, a senator from Louisiana. So you're capitalizing Bobby Brown because that's a name. But because it doesn't say Senator Bobby Brown, it just says senator. It's saying the person's role. You don't capitalize the senator, but you do capitalize Louisiana because that is the name of the state. Then in this example, thank you for your response, comma, governor. So this person is actually answering to governor, either in writing. Do I need to come in today? Doctor. You capitalize it if you were like texting or emailing your governor or doctor because you're addressing them, you're talking to them. And the sixth rule is do capitalize countries, nationalities, and languages. So England, country, capitalize. English is a language. American is a nationality. Spain is a country. Spanish is a language. Okay? So on the next slide, slide 8, you are going to practice some capitalization. What I want you to do is you will, in the purple box, see it says in the directions here, click on the purple box and type your answers. The first one has been done for you. So if you notice there's a red sentence under here, and that's actually the answer. And you're going to look at the print that's in black, and you're going to see that there are boxes in here, purple boxes. What I want you to do is I want you to type out the correct answer in the right place. So on the way to visit my aunt in California, you see right here it's capitalized, but I just want you to practice typing it. Capitalize the C, spell it correctly. We crossed the Golden Gate Bridge. Okay, and so you're going to type out Golden Gate Bridge. So again, the rest of these sentences, the red is the answer, and you just have to type out the correct word in the purple box. This one's pretty easy, okay? All right. The next slide we're going to do is commas. So there are some hard and fast rules for commas, and there are 9 rules for commas. So the first rule is do use a comma to separate 3 or more items or elements when they're written in a series, which means in order. So if you look at the examples here, I ate pork, potatoes, and bread. There's 3 things. So after the word pork, you put a comma. After the word potatoes, you put a comma. And then after the word bread, because it's the end of the sentence, you'll put a period. The second example, she ran out the door, first thing, comma, jumped in the car, second thing, comma, and sped off down the road, period. Number 2, do use a comma between 2 adjectives only when the word and could be inserted in its place. So the example is Jason is a handsome, comma, charming boy. And you put a comma there because you could actually say Jason is a handsome and charming boy. So basically you're using the comma to replace the word and. The third rule, do use a comma before and after a word or phrase that renames the noun, which is a positives. So in this example, George, comma, my oldest brother, comma, has red hair. So George is the brother, and this section here, this phrase, my older brother, is renaming George. So you put that phrase in commas in between commas. So George, comma, my oldest brother, comma, has red hair. So the oldest brother has red hair, and George is the oldest brother. Albany, comma, New York's capital, comma, is a big city. So Albany is New York's capital is Albany, and so that's why we would put it in commas. Okay? Number 4, do use a comma when a sentence begins with an introductory word or phrase, such as, well, yes, therefore. For example, or, on the other hand. So in the examples, yes, comma, you can stay up an extra hour. However, comma, you must still wake up on time. On the other hand, comma, you could simply go to bed now. Okay? Rule 5, do use a comma before and after a word used as an interrupter, such as the word however. The dog, however, comma, still needs to be taken outside. So this word, however, interrupts this sentence. The dog still needs to be taken outside. And they stuck this word, however, in to kind of interrupt the sentence. Number 6, do use a comma between a city and state and after the state if the sentence continues. So, example, I was born in Lake Charles, comma, Louisiana, comma, over 30 years ago. Lake Charles is a city, so that's why there's a comma after it. Louisiana is the state, and there's a comma after that because the sentence continues. If the sentence just said, I was born in Lake Charles, comma, Louisiana, end of sentence, you would just put a period there. 7, do use a comma to separate the day of the month from the year and after the year. So, example, we moved to Texas on February 29th, comma, 2000, comma, and have lived here since. So the month and the day, comma, and then after the year, okay, because the sentence continues. Number 8, do use a comma when a sentence begins with a prepositional phrase, an adverbial clause, or dependent clause. So the example is, under the bridge, comma, the fog made it difficult to see. Because the bridge was iced over, comma, the state police closed the road. So a lot of times, well, especially in elementary school, your teachers told you not to start a sentence with the word because. And the reason is because a lot of times when you're younger, students have a hard time turning a sentence or making an actual complete sentence when you start a sentence with the word because. They just would say, because the bridge was iced over. That's not a complete sentence. You actually need this other part of the sentence, the state police closed the road, to make it a complete sentence. So I think for elementary teachers, it's just easier to just tell the students, don't ever start a sentence with the word because. Because they often say it's because you're not making a complete sentence. But you just have to make sure you follow this rule. Okay? And number 9, do use a comma to interrupt direct quotations or before or after a direct quotation. So, example, quote, why, comma, quote, I asked, comma, quote, must you leave, question mark, quote. Quote, because I have to work in the morning, comma, quote, replied Sam. I laughed and said, comma, quote, right, period, I forgot. Period, quote. So you're going to use the comma to interrupt a direct quote. This first sentence, it was probably said, why must you leave? But because it's written down as dialogue, it's why, I asked, must you leave? So you'd put a comma there. Okay? All right, so now I'm going to go to the next slide. Okay, so this is in your composition book, or it should be in your composition book by now. That is this page. Hold on, I'm pulling it up. Sorry, I don't have it in my composition book, but it looks like this. Okay? Hard and fast rules, practice commas. Now, we're going to deal with this later. Today, what I want you to do is you are going to go in here and read the directions. And it says the printed sentences have mistakes. Click on the purple box and type your answers. The first one has been done for you. So I want to remind you, all of the sentences on this slide have comma errors. So the first sentence, during World War II, the U.S. and allies fought against Germany, Italy, and Japan. Well, there's no commas here. So what I did was we typed in the correct answer. During World War II, comma, there actually is correct, it's correct there. The U.S. and allies fought against, and there's 3, Germany, comma, Italy, comma, and Japan. So you're going to just go and read, and you're going to type in the correct answers for all of these, okay, as practice. All right. These 4 slides are what you are doing in this slideshow today. You will also need to go to this slideshow, the 2020 Digital Grammar Practice Worksheets slideshow. And again, I know that it's really small, but you can click on the zoom and make it bigger. Okay, you'll always want to read the directions, but that are actually printed on the page, but also read down here. So click on the red box and type in your answers. Make sure you read the directions. We will type out the correct answers in the purple box. So this one, you notice the red box is behind. So you're going to click, or you're going to type in the right answer, what your answers are in the red boxes. Okay. When we go over the answers, you will then type in the correct answer in the purple boxes. Okay. So this the first 2 slides are about capitalization. So this is understanding capitalization rules. They've given you the rules here, and you need to decide which rule the sentence is demonstrating. Okay. Then you will do correct capitalization. You'll decide if the sentence has used capitalization correctly, either with a yes or a no. Slide 2. That doesn't want to let me go to slide 2. Why will you not let me go to slide 2? There we go. So slide 2 is using correct capitalization. You will identify the incorrectly capitalized word in each sentence and then write it correctly on the appropriate line. But if there is no error, type NE on the line. So some of them might not have any errors, might be totally correct. Then you type NE. So you're going to type in the red boxes. Okay? If the word is incorrect, then you type in the word correctly in the red boxes. All right. Then we're going to go on to the commas. Same thing. You're going to have red boxes and purple boxes, but you're going to type your answers for this first assignment. This assignment, you're going to type it in the red box. So here are all the comma rules, and you're going to decide which rule this sentence, the 5 sentences, are showing. So you'll click on here and type in A, B, C, whatever, one of these rules. Okay? And then is this commas? Yes, so this is still commas. So you will do this one as well. You will determine whether this sentence uses a comma correctly. If it does, yes. If it does not, an N, no. Okay, so you're going to type in the red. Now this one, okay, so this is going to be a little bit tricky, I guess. Okay, I'm going to zoom out for this one. For each sentence, you decide where to enter a comma. If the sentence does not need a comma, write NC for no comma. And you're not going to write it above the sentence, you're going to write it here. So, between what letters do you put a comma? Here's the directions. There may be more than one set of letters, like the sample below. and or maybe no commas are needed. So in the first sentence, feudalism, a type of political organization, involved lords and vassals. That's the first sentence. So you would need a comma between the letter A and B. And then you would also need a comma between the letter F and G. Okay? So after organization, you put a comma and then before the word involved. So you're going to type your answers here. This one might take a little bit of time. You might have to read it kind of carefully. And if you don't remember the rules, you can go back to the page before, the slide before, to look at the rules, or you could look in your composition book on this page. Okay, so you can have this out. Then we will be going over the answers in the purple boxes. All right, I know it's a lot, but you can do this. And we just want to review grammar with you guys, because that's really important, especially when you're trying to write and you're trying to get people to understand your writing. Okay? If you have questions, you know that you can email your teachers, you can call or text them on Google Voice, or you can come to office hours. Okay? There's many ways you can contact your teachers and get help if you need it. So, go ahead and get to work, and you can do this. See you later. Bye.